Hey guys, this is Coach Carly, and you're watching Bull Time.
We are back with the edition of July Bull Time, but I think this time is going to be more beer time. As we set up for the meets, I drink a half of a sour beer each time that we set up because I'm a lightweight and can't even finish one. But no, we had a big month in July. We had 4 different events amongst, I think, 2 different disciplines and 3 different federations. So we had powerlifting and strongman this month, 4 different meets, one that we ran, which was awesome. Our meet, we had it was an awesome showing from our team. It was just an awesome event, and I'll get into it in a little bit. But yeah, we're setting up for the mulch making rookie novice meet that's happening tomorrow, August 6th on a Sunday. So I'm excited about that. Our whole crew. This is Nate's meet. If you follow Mr. Sandbox Hero on Instagram, he always talks about his mulch making problems. So that's why we call this the mulch making madness. So without further ado, we'll get into our July beer time. So first up, we had Miss Mariah Urban. Man, what a prep for Mariah. We had so many ups and so many downs, and I think at the end of the day, she was able to stay healthy enough for us to be able to get into a good enough position to total PR, which was awesome. And that's exactly what we wanted to do, was put together a day for her. We were able to accomplish that, which was awesome. So we went 9 for 9 with a 5 kilo total PR, and honestly, I don't think we thought that was even going to be possible based on what about like 6 weeks of training looked like. And then next up we had Maria Maitam. Maria is a new client of mine, her first ever meet. She went 7 of 9 and is a really good hockey player. She's actually currently playing in Sweden for the summer, and then she's going to go to college and play in Providence, Rhode Island. So super awesome for her and her journey. Super happy about how she did. Really good execution. We had a little bit of a hiccup with bench techniques, but that's why we went 7 of 9. But hey, things happen. I'm glad we were able to get 1, so that's important to me. And then next up we had Miss Tawny Bowers. Oh man, Tawny, it is so interesting. Tawny and I think now have done 5 meets together, 4 or 5 meets. She went 9 for 9 again. And the biggest thing for her is, like, in training, sometimes our top end is just not there, whether it's not mentally being excited about it or not mentally being in it. It's just sometimes we have a tough time with that, and it sometimes rolls over into the execution of the lifts. And hey, whatever, it is what it is. But on the top end in the meet, we just fucking killed it. Like, it was awesome. Just a really good, well executed day for her. 7.5 kilo total PR. Next up, we had Shannon Kiefer, her second meet. She did our rookie meets in December. Shannon Kiefer Hennessy now, not just Shannon Kiefer, so I apologize, Shannon. We took a big jump in deads to try to, get something big there, and, it didn't pan out. I asked her husband, Mike, who was handling her, hey, what do you want to do? And he's like, go with the bigger one. And we didn't, and that's okay. So we matched her bench and saw a 7.5 kilo squat PR, and that's which we ended in our total PR. So that was a really good meet for her. Again, 8 for 9 on that. We had Miss Young Gun and Miss Ania Davison. Miss Ania saw a 27.5 kilo total PR with missing her last deadlift and going 8 for 9, setting multiple records across the board. Also qualifying as a teen 1, even though she's 12 years old, in her weight class, and then 2 weight classes above her in addition to that. So kind of crazy, kind of cool stuff of how strong her trajectory can be, and that's something that we just talked about this past week in her recap. The next 3, we had our first-time lifters. We had Betsy Moon go 8 for 9 in her first ever meet. Another Masters 3 lifter representing, so that was super cool to see Betsy out there crushing her meet. We had one little miscue on her squat depth, and that's okay. I think she rushed it, and we talked about it. but I saw an all-time PR in deadlift at 80 kilos, which is so cool. So I'm super happy for her. Next up, we had Megan Switala. Megan actually just transferred over from a different gym, and we had to work on a lot of technique from what she was doing before, and now she's just in the zone. She's just absolutely cruising. So she had a really good performance in going 8 for 9, really good technique. We really only missed one deadlift on a little bit of ramping technique, which is something that we've been working on. Then next up, we had Darling Doe, Miss Jessica Dagler, go 8 for 9. Again, a little miscue on bench where we kind of rushed to command. Again, with first-time lifters to go completely perfect 9 for 9 is really hard, especially with the technique and all. The first-time experiences that you have when you go through these things. So she did absolutely incredible. Good technique, and that's all I can ask for as a coach for first-time athletes is just having good technique, having fun, seeing smiles on their faces, and just having a good time. Next up, we had a seasoned vet and Megan Van Buren Meal go 9 for 9 for the first time since October, I believe, of 2021. Saw a 5 kilo total PR for her too. Just a really well executed meet. Everything is just trending in the right way for her, and it's really, really awesome to see her finally come into her own and have just great technique, but also at the same time be in it in the mindset that we kind of want as we inch closer to Masters 1. So really happy about what she did there. Next up, we had Kim Bizzotti, another 9 for 9 meet for Kim. We saw a 17.5 kilo total PR. I've talked about this, I think, with Joey Strange, and Kim falls into the same category. Just Mr. and Mrs. Consistency, right? Like every single meet, we just chip away and chip away and chip away and chip away and chip away. Each and every single time, they're executing the way that we should and executing everything to the best of their abilities, which is just so fucking cool. So it's awesome to see that total increase every single time and maximize the day. Next up, we had Farah Pinnock, another 9 for 9 day and 25 kilo total PR for her. Really awesome stuff as she finishes up her PhD from Cornell. She is just one of those people that puts her head down and just goes to work and just is laser focused on everything, getting everything in, allowing herself to stay in the moment. Everything just looks so awesome and so routine. We just kept climbing and climbing and climbing, which is everything that I could ask for, just putting our head down, executing everything perfectly. Technique looks flawless each and every single week, regardless of load and regardless of rep schemes. Next up, we had Bridget Tovar, first meet with Bridget and I, and we did a 47.5 kilo total PR, going 8 for 9, only missing her last squat. We had a slight miscommunication about where we were body weight wise and trying to qualify for Nats in a certain weight class. We just quite weren't there yet, and that's okay because we did a 47.5 kilo total PR with pristine technique, and every single lift just skyrocketed. So I am absolutely thrilled about what we brought to the table there and how well everything was executed on her end. I can't wait for her to compete in December as her second time USAPL meet. And then lastly for this meet, we had Miss Lindsay Faye. What a fucking day for Lindsay. Absolutely obliterated everything that we wanted, and this was just a tune-up. This was just an absolute tune-up for her going into nationals, totaling above 550, putting herself in an upper echelon of her weight class and just absolutely dominating what she wanted to do. And it was really, really awesome to see her be in control of everything that she wanted to do that day. And that was exactly what we wanted, that kind of momentum going into nationals, which is awesome. So that finishes off our Pow Herful Women's Classic here at the gym. The next up, we had Monday the 10th, I believe. We had one of my remote clients, Geraldine Goldberg, compete in USPA Nationals out in Vegas, I should say, not up in. We had a rough day on execution and, squat depth and, where we were in the bench, and, national level meets kind of sometimes highlight some of those things that may have been issues in training, although I didn't think squat depth or bench problems were a thing for us. So we didn't execute. We went 5 of 9, which is okay, but we got the W. So we She won her age group and weight class amongst 2 other people, which was really fucking awesome. So I'm super happy for her placing first overall, even though we didn't necessarily have the numbers day that I guess we would have wanted. So that's okay. And we had a really good training blocks. We also switched to sumo. So I think that, with how her leverages and how her strengths are, that was a really good technique move for her. And I think it's a lot easier to understand what that top end is with really good technique. And then I was gone actually on a week's vacation in July. And then we had a meet when I came back. We had 2. Allie competed on that Sunday, which I was able to go to, and I was still traveling on vacation for Miss Terry. Miss Terry Polanek, I think. I'm sorry, Terry, if I pronounced your last name wrong. I actually don't know exactly how to, so I said Polanek? So I apologize. But Terry fucking killed it. And she had the worst sickness that lasted, and it seemed like 3 or 4 weeks, literally a week before she was able to compete. And it just wasn't working for her. And I felt really bad, to the point where I even asked her, I was like, are you sure you still want to compete? Like, you literally haven't been able to train, and like, that's just, like, I feel horrible. I feel horrible that you weren't able to train and do any of these things. And she was just mentally in it and had a really good meet, regardless of that. So super happy for her. I'm really happy about how she executed everything, and she just had so much fun, and she just loves training, and it's just really awesome for her. And I'm super proud of her for how well she was able to overcome all those things. And then lastly, we had Allie Clement compete out in regionals. We saw a 17.5 kilo total PR, and we went 6 of 9, which wasn't necessarily the best execution day, but hey, shit happens. I'm quite okay with that, especially considering that she saw a 17.5 kilo total PR, put her almost, I think, in the 400s, which is fucking awesome. Like, that's exactly where we wanted to be, in the 400s, inching closer to that QT for herself and putting herself in a position to finally get there. So I think that we finally found things that work for her. We're always working on some things and how we can do things better, especially on squat depth. She has a laborious job, so that also takes a lot out of her upper body, which hinders the bench, especially in the summer. So overall, I think it was a really good meet for her. It's just, some things happen and some things just make sense in that way. So it is what it is. Can't complain too much when you see a 17.5 kilo total PR in a day. So things just come together sometimes. So super happy for all of our athletes in July. We have 1 meet in August, which is awesome. We have a super slow time frame leading into nationals, which is in September. So that's going to be a lot. So September is going to be fun. We have 26. I have 26 athletes going to Nats, and that's going to be a fucking awesome time. And I can't wait for our scoring teams. I can't wait for everyone else to go, and it's just we're gonna dominate. So until then, I will see you for August. Hopefully not beer time, but if it is, oh well. I'll see you next time. Bye.